You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show, everybody. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta, and right now you're Locked On Phillies Postcast. So much to get into over the next 30 minutes, but before we do any of it, let me tell you that this fine post-game program is brought to you by the wonderful people at FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 win or lose on FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. We're going to start it off on this show with three big things, as we always do. Ranger Suarez. First up, here's I don't know, the preamble. All right, the preamble to the three big things. Here's what I'll give you. I have not seen the Phillies this locked in. No pun intended with locked on. This locked in April. I have not seen them this locked in April since the Four Aces year where they won 102 games and they started off April extremely well, but they had Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay, Cole Hamels, Roy Oswalt, Joe Blanton, and then, I actually looked it up before the show. I was going back, and it was Joe Blanton was supposed to be the fifth starter. Vance Worley was actually the guy that made more starts than Joe Blanton that year because I think big old Joe B hurt the old arm. But anyway, I have not seen the Phillies this locked in to starting out a season since all the way back to 2011 when they set a franchise record with 102 wins. They're 18-10 now after today's performance. And they talk about three big things. The big thing for this Phillies season isn't necessarily the way they're hitting the baseball, and they're hitting the baseball extremely well. But the pitching has been off the charts, and it's hard to be better than what Ranger Suarez has given you. He's the number one big thing you're looking at in today's ball game. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely sucks, though, that he lost his streak, his scoreless inning streak at 32 2/3 innings pitched in the eighth inning of the ball game, just one out away from logging 33 consecutive scoreless innings for the Phillies, which absolutely would have been bonkers, would have moved into sole possession of third place behind Cliff Lee, who's got 34 straight, and Grover Alexander back in 1911. That's why you watch the Phillies Postcast, kids. That's why you watch the Phillies Postcast. Why? Well, because we're going back to 1911 with Grover Alexander. That's pretty remarkable. We went back to 1915 the other day. So we keep the stats for you, Ben. We keep the stats for you. But I am just so impressed by what I'm seeing from Ranger Suarez and the complete and utter dominance that he has shown so far this season, and the runs that he has had even going back to last year, and his total dominance for months at a time. And he just looks the definition of calm, cool, and collected when he's on the bump for the Phillies, handling his business. The changeup working well tonight. The sinker was, of all the great things he has done this year, the sinker has not been a highlight. It has been the curveball, the changeup. Today, the sinker was a huge star of the show for Ranger Suarez, and one of the big reasons he was able to go out there today over 8 innings and just dominate. Used it multiple times as the put-away pitch on his 8 strikeouts that he had today, by the way, over those 8 innings, and he used that masterfully. He used the changeup just as well as he always had, and he used the curveball just as well as he always had. And that sinker, especially today, if I was to highlight one particular thing he was doing well today that was at all different but yet still dominant, it was the way he was using his sinker today. Used it beautifully. And just always calm. Whether he's fielding the baseball, whether he's got a runner on, and the rare occasion a runner was on, he was his typical dominant self. And in today's ball game, he now lowers the ERA. Well, actually, raises it a little bit. 132 is what he goes into now after 8 innings, allowing the 1 run. And look, he was at 85 pitches going into the 8th inning. And I know some people were speculating as to whether or not Rob Thompson, because he's logged a lot of innings, whether or not Rob Thompson would let Ranger Suarez go out there for one more inning. Well, he let him go out there for one more inning. I was hoping he would let him go for one more inning. He got the one more inning, and unfortunately, that's when Eggy Rosario went up there and hit the solo home run. And I think that was on a sinker, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe an example of maybe not a good time to throw. Oh, no, it was a cutter. Cut fastball up in the zone, right over the middle of the plate. And Rosario just said, "Thank you for this meatball," and blasted that into the left field bleachers. But overall, just absolutely another dazzling performance from Ranger Suarez. And you talk about hitting spots, and it was a rather wide strike zone today that both pitchers were trying to take advantage of. But Ranger Suarez, of course, did it better than anybody, taking advantage of everything. Dropping that curveball, especially out away from right-handed hitters, the way he was able to do that today, really took advantage of the wider strike zone. And once you realize that, if Marquez is going to be giving you that call on the outside corners, you take advantage of the call on the outside corners. And that's what he did tonight massively well, especially when it comes to what you saw from Ranger Suarez and his arsenal of pitches that he was using so well today. So Ranger Suarez, without question, the number one thing. Number two, I feel like I'm doing the same show I did yesterday here with all the guys. You got number one, number two, go starting pitcher, and now you go to the guys in the lineup. Alec Bohm, babe. Alec Bohm. He rewards his skip. First off, Alec Bohm has always been a hitter. Now he gets this opportunity to actually bat cleanup for the Phillies. And Alec Bohm goes out there and bats cleanup for the Phillies. Yesterday comes up big, gets a hit, gets a double for his team, gets him on the board, gets him going. Tonight he gets an opportunity to get this Phillies team going yet again. Kyle Schwarber struck out to lead off the game. It was his first of 4 strikeouts. Ugh. And then Trea Turner steps up to the plate, gets a broken bat, flare of a single to right field. It falls in beautifully. Bryce Harper steps up, flies out to right field. Enter Alec Bohm. Now, Sneese, who had never faced the Phillies before tonight, was dominant going into this game. Alec Bohm, somehow, in his mind, is thinking first pitch slider. It wasn't thinking first pitch fastball, it's the first pitch slider. He pounces on Dylan Cease's first pitch, which is a slider, 89 miles per hour, well over the middle of the plate, and just tattoos that baseball to left center field. Straight away left field, I should say. 398 feet in total. Blasted it for a 2-run home run. All of a sudden, the Phillies are on the board. And Alec Bohm has his 4th home run of the season, adds to his team lead in RBIs, and just continues to rake no matter where he is hitting in the lineup. 26. Now has 26 RBIs on the season. 26 RBIs on the season for Alec Bohm, including his 4 home runs. He's got extra base hits galore as well. The guy's just raking. And he gets the opportunity to really show his worth in the 4th inning of today's ballgame. Fifth inning of today's ballgame. And that brings me to number 3. So Alec Bohm, phenomenal, continues to do phenomenal. Great. Ranger Suarez, Alec Bohm. Number 3. To all the kids on the YouTube here, right? All the kids on YouTube, all the kids that listen to the postcast on the podcast version of the postcast, all the kids out there. I'm not saying all of you are kids. I'm just saying to the kids that are out there playing baseball. I want you to go back, DVR, YouTube highlights, whatever it might be. I want you to go back and I want you to watch the 5th inning, the top of the 5th inning for the Phillies versus the Padres today. And now, why do I want you to do that? I'll tell you why I want you to do that. Because Whit Merrifield was all about the hustling in that 5th inning. That's how you play the game, kids. One of my favorite quotes all time ever in the history of sports, ever, any athlete, George Brett, formerly way back in the day there of the Kansas City Royals, talking about how some reporter asked him in the year he was going to retire, hey, you want to hit a home run in your last at bat? And George Brett said, hit a home run? No. My last at bat, I want to hit a short dribbler to second base, bust it down the first baseline, show all the kids how this game's supposed to be played. Just steal my heart, George Brett. It's all about hustling, kids. Whit Merrifield has had some struggles becoming a Philadelphia Philly. He's trying to find his way. Rob Thompson is trying to give him opportunities to find his way. He goes up in that 5th inning. And in that 5th inning, 2 outs get recorded pretty quick. Nick Castellanos strikes out. Everything away. We'll get to that later. But anyway, bottom line is he strikes out. Bryson Stott grounds out to second base. Whit Merrifield steps up, hits a sharp ground ball up the middle. Kim, the shortstop there for the Padres, makes a phenomenal diving play to his left, springs to his feet, fires to first, and just misses getting Whit Merrifield for what would have been the 3rd and final out of a very quick 1-2-3 inning. But Whit Merrifield had other ideas, kids. He busted it down at first baseline, knowing he had an opportunity to beat out that throw. He beat out that throw by a fraction, by a one spike on his cleats. You know what I mean? Just barely beat it out. The inning continues. Whit Merrifield beats it out. All of a sudden, he's got an infield single. Oh, my goodness gracious. Kyle Schwarber works a walk. Oh, my good. Now you got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Trea Turner steps up. Again, hustle, kids. Trea Turner hits a little dribbler down the third baseline. Eggy Rosario does not charge it, thinking the ball's hit too slow. His only play is to field the ball and tag third base to get the force out. And again, the final out of the inning. No damage done. But what does Rosario do? Eggy Rosario waits for the ball to roll to him, actually uses his back foot, I believe it was his right foot, to tag the bag and field the baseball to get the force out. But again, Whit Merrifield busting it now from second to third, beats the out at third base. So now you have gone from a possible 1-2-3 inning with nothing happening to bases loaded with 2 outs. And Alec Bohm stepping to the plate. The middle of the order, stepping to the plate. It's all about the hustle, kids. Whit Merrifield doesn't hustle, doesn't bust it. You don't get this opportunity for the next thing to happen. Bryce Harper works a walk, bases now loaded. Then Alec Bohm steps up and just ropes a single into right field to have 2 more runs cross the plate. Now you're going from a 3-0. Now you're at a 3-0 game. You jump up to a 5-0 game. Just like that. Harper worked the walk to walk in a run, and then, because the base loaded when Bryce Harper walked, and then that's when Alec Bohm got the 2-run single. And that's what a cleanup hitter is supposed to do. Supposed to step to the plate with ducks on the pond. As my old little league coach used to say, you got to swing the willow wand. Don't know why I said that. We had aluminum bats, but he said it. But that's what Alec Bohm did, and it was absolutely fantastic. And seeing Alec Bohm come up huge in that spot was wonderful, because I don't want Alec Bohm to leave the cleanup spot. I think Alec Bohm, if Bryce Harper is not doing it, Alec Bohm's your best option by far to be your cleanup hitter on this team. I love JT Realmuto and all that, but he ain't Alec Bohm. And Alec Bohm, since he's been called up, has been a big league hitter, and that's exactly what he did in that spot. But again, the third biggest thing, just to go back to the star of number 3 on 3 big things, the star tonight, Whit Merrifield. On the list of 3, he's number 3. For the hustle that he showed in the 5th inning, keeping that inning going. And it ended up being a big inning, big inning for your Philadelphia Phillies. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. And it helped cap off an inning that, again, you go back to their second loss in that Red series, and they just failed to put up the crooked numbers. And in the last 2 games, these 2 games here against San Diego Padres, they were able to put up those crooked numbers in a big way. And you love to see it. When this team is raking and the guys on the mound are getting it done, it's fantastic. Honorable mention, by the way, because that's not all for Whit Merrifield. After he had the 2 hustle plays in the 5th inning, which led to the 4 runs crossing the plate, 3 runs crossing the plate. After that, you had his robbing after Kim tried to rob him of that base hit. Kim hit a line drive in the bottom of the 5th inning to Whit Merrifield and left. Whit Merrifield charged it beautifully. He was manning left field today. Brandon Marsh was playing center field. Whit Merrifield charged it, went into a slide, gloved it, first out of the inning. Hustle all over the place from Whit Merrifield. Kids, you still listening? That's what you got to do. So you saw that, and it was great. So that was some good defense there. Actually, great defense, as a matter of fact. Move ahead to the 6th inning. Another honorable mention I'll give here. Nick Castellanos. You had 1 out already recorded in that 6th inning. And then Azekar stepped up to the plate and belt. I thought it was gone. On contact, I thought it was gone. Nick Castellanos retreating. I still full speed, going at the warning track. I'm like, this ball's gone. There's no way he's got it. Goes into a little bit of a leap, comes down with the baseball, slams it into the wall, comes down with the catch. That's helping out your pitcher. I love the reaction shot they got of Ranger Suarez looking into right field and Nick Castellanos making that play. And Nick Castellanos just looking back at him, clapping at him. Suarez pointing at him, clapping back at him. It was fantastic. And then again, Suarez is able to get out of the rest of that inning when he got Bogarts on a 4-pitch at bat and put him away with that sinker. Another great sinker from Ranger Suarez in that 6th inning. But you love to see that from Nick Castellanos. And also, he did get a hit later in the ball game. He got a single in the 8th inning. Great to see that. Anything that can keep him hitting at the plate, keep him involved in the field as well, It's great. And another thing I love, too, with this ball club is that you can really tell that there's great chemistry because Nick Castellanos makes that play in the outfield. He gets them to dugout, and the guys are acting like he just hit a grand slam. That's got to make you feel good. When you know you're helping the team a little bit, you get a bigger opportunity to help them, and they all acknowledge it. It's great for the chemistry in the clubhouse. You love to see that as well. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how special this start of the season is for the Philadelphia Phillies because it is incredible. When you talk about the starting rotation and you talk about the lineup and how these guys, I hate to use the word gelling because really they're just performing. Everybody is doing their job for the most part. And how it really does make you feel great about something special potentially happening this season. We also will get to chat. Also, if you have something you want to say, pop into the chat. I'll get you guys up on the screen as well and make sure we kick that around your ideas. We'll be back in a second. You are Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. How much do you love DoorDash? Do you love it as much as I do? I mean, everyone loves DoorDash. You should, right? DoorDash is incredible, and you can get incredible things with DoorDash. By using DoorDash and keeping DoorDash on your phone, you better keep it in mind. When it comes to Mother's Day, for instance, use Locked On MLB. That's Locked On MLB. Promo code Locked On MLB. You see it at the bottom of the screen right there to get 50% off your next order on DoorDash. And how about this? Up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flowers arrangement for mom. Also, your next convenience arrangement there. Groceries as well, all retail. That you're looking at, all on DoorDash. Promo code Locked On MLB. That's Locked On MLB. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. And we all want to make sure we take care of mom for Mother's Day, especially after she took such great care of us, is taking such great care of us. DoorDash offers exactly what you want and the efficient way to get it to mom for Mother's Day. Get thoughtful gifts that she deserves, the gifts that she thinks about, and get it at the convenience that you need in your busy life. Choose same-day delivery. Schedule a week ahead also for when flowers and gifts want to get sent to mom. They'll arrive courtesy of DoorDash and your great taste on the DoorDash app. So download DoorDash. Take advantage of all they're offering right now and order now and get everything you need for Mother's Day on DoorDash. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get 50% off your next order, up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower arrangement, convenience, grocery, retail order now on DoorDash. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. All right, I see we do have one vote here from Crazy. Crazy, what's going on, man? Alec Bohm for MVP. Alec Bohm MVP run, Crazy. It's crossed my mind. To say the least. And you look at the numbers just going into tonight for Alec Bohm. And seeing a younger guy in the lineup, part of the daycare crew, if you will, mashing at 354 now on the season with a 434 on-base percentage is pretty special. You don't see that too much, unfortunately. Not with the Phillies, not until a guy like Bryce Harper starts hitting a stride. But to see him hitting at a level that he's at now, where he's been elevated to the cleanup spot, and he is absolutely cashing in on the opportunity and showing and making the most of the opportunity that he can be your guy to be depended on when it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position, it is something very, very special. And look, Trea Turner is fantastic as well. To see what Trea Turner has been doing at such a consistent basis and see what Alec Bohm has been doing with a great consistency now in the new spot in the lineup and keeping that consistency going is amazing. Is absolutely amazing. Brandon Marsh has been hot and cold a little bit, more hot than cold, but had a little bit of a down period, but now right back into the swing of things, literally and figuratively. But seeing Alec Bohm be able to perform at this level is amazing. And you talk about the RBIs, for instance. The 26 runs that he's batted on in the season, and keep in mind, he only has four games now, I think, in the cleanup spot. 26 runs batted in on the year. No other Philly has 20. No other Philly has 19. Bryce Harper missed a couple of games with the paternity leave. He's still second on this team with 18. I mean, that's ridiculous. And Bohm is out there still just mashing. You talk about what he could do with his OPS right now. By the way, the OPS is at 1.030. That's pretty remarkable as well. He just keeps it going. each and every time, and he always has a plan. And this is why I don't like ragging on guys for swinging at the first pitch. I know that's an easy thing that people look at. Swing at the first pitch, you're all of a sudden going to be, having a bad at bat. If you're sitting on something and you just have a feeling like Cease today's going to throw you that slider, you pounce on it. And he threw him that slider and he belted it. That's a great approach to the plate. If you get Bohm performing at the level that a lot of people in this front office thought he could perform at, I mean, you're talking about consistency at that spot where the Phillies need someone to be able to hit with runners in scoring position, because that's how you put up the crooked numbers. Gets an opportunity to do it yesterday. He's had opportunities to do that so far this year, and he's cashed in at an incredible clip. And then today, you're talking about that fifth inning where it's, oh boy, are you just going to get one run out of this? Are you only going to get Ranger one more run out of this? Or are you going to make this a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more breathing room for Ranger Suarez? Not that he needs a lot of it, but I think any pitcher would say, oh, more runs? Yes, please. And Alec Bohm delivers the big hit. That makes it a big inning for the Phils. It's the beginning of something that I think could be really special for the Phillies with him at that spot. You're talking about a 27-year-old player. He'll be 28 in August, just making the most of it, the most of the opportunity he's getting in front of him. Now, as far as the near future goes for the Phillies, I mentioned a little bit ago when it came to the Phillies what they were doing in 2011. So right now, the Phillies are at a spot where they are 18-10. And granted, you still have, let's see here. You still have 3 more days left in April to try to cash in a little bit more than you already have. At the end of April in 2011, when the Phillies won their 102 games, so keep this in mind because that was, as we remember, incredible lineup, incredible pitching staff that we all remember far too well, of course. Came up short in the playoffs, unfortunately, but they went through all of April. They didn't have any games in March like they did this year, but they went all the way through April, and by the close of April, they were 18-8 on the season. So the Phillies, unfortunately, have 2 more losses than then, but they have an opportunity now to get 2 more wins than that team in 2011. But the focus on this team seems to be off the charts, and the confidence of this team is off the charts as well. And this is not something that we can say we have gotten used to in Philadelphia as of late when talking about starting out a season strong. I mean, we were talking about the 2018 season, about the Phillies being this is the best start they've had in April since the 2018 season. 2018 season, you know what's crazy about that? It was not some incredible start to the year. There were a couple of games over 500 in 2018. If you remember, they had one of their historic August and September collapses, which took them out of playoff contention. They had meaningful games, but you knew that they were on the downward trot, unfortunately. And in 2018, they started things out great. You actually had some people believing maybe this is it. Maybe they're going to turn it around. That was a Gabe Kapler year, as we remember. And they start out that season, and we're supposed to be really excited about how they're starting out that year. The best they were 16-9, 7 games over 500. This team feels like, now granted, again, you're talking about games in April, but this team feels like it's going to exceed that point. And it just, you watch this team play, you know there's experience, there's past playoff success that they've had recently. Those teams, the 2018 team, didn't see anything in 6 years. This team has obviously been there back-to-back years with a World Series and one win away from one more World Series, but at least getting there. And you just see this team playing at such a high level right now. And I would be shocked if just all of a sudden there was a crash and burn moment. I don't even want to think about it at this point because I'm just enjoying how great the Phillies are right now in April. And if this is going to be a typical year, not in that they're bad in April, but that their best baseball is still in front of them, oh my goodness gracious. I mean, think about that for a second. What's ahead of the Phillies? If this is how they're playing now, and in the early goings of the season, the first 2 months plus of the season, they haven't even hit their stride yet. Well, let's just say this is the Phillies, and they're playing great right now, but they still got better baseball to be played? Like they have another stride, put it this way, another gear to get to in June? Holy Lord. This is going to be one special season. And I know it's tough when you look at the Braves. I didn't even see what the Braves did tonight. But when you look around Major League Baseball and you try to see whatever is going on elsewhere, usually it's just the Braves staying red hot as well, and they just keep winning no matter what. You don't pick up a lot of ground on the Braves. It seems like you never pick up a lot of ground on the Braves. And the Braves lost. Oh, my goodness, the Braves did lose to the Guardians. Oh, boy. Braves lost to the Guardians 4-2. So that's exciting. So you did pick, look at that. You did pick up ground. Now just a game and a half behind the Braves for way too early scoreboard watching and standings checking. But I tell you all that just to tell you this. If this is still going to be like the Phillies of the past, where maybe not going to be terrible in April, but if they still got better baseball in front of them, oh my God, I can't wait for June. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of May in the meantime. But oh boy, can't wait for June. We're going to look ahead to the Phillies' next matchup and see if they can get away with a sweep. Again, the Phillies have not lost a series, and this clinches at least the series victory. They have not lost a series since the second series of the season against the Cincinnati Reds. Say that 10 times fast. We'll be back in a second to look ahead. So you'll close out this series against the Padres coming up tomorrow late afternoon. Oh, you guys heard me talking about FanDuel and how incredible FanDuel is. Have a great time on FanDuel. It is playoff time in the NBA. You know what else is it? Also the NHL. Baseball, well underway, as we also know. And FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. Win or lose. When I say guaranteed, that's what that means. Win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks to assists to strikeouts, everything at FanDuel. FanDuel.com/locked-on. Go on the app. It's safe, secure, and easy to use. So what are you waiting for? $150 for new customers? Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on and make your first bet an automatic win. That's FanDuel.com/locked-on and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So the Phillies tomorrow will go for the sweep of the San Diego Padres. As I mentioned earlier, you had a game today against Dylan Cease where he was coming in red hot. And in the first inning, before you blinked, it was a 2-0 ball game. Now, little promo. We have the 76ers game going on at 1 o'clock tomorrow, game 4 against the New York Knicks. We will have a 76ers postcast right here on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. So don't miss that. And then we will have another postcast, a Phillies postcast, hopefully after they bust out the brooms against the San Diego Padres and improve to 19-10 on the young season. Taijuan Walker will get his first start of the season. Spencer Turnbull, womp, womp. Back to the bullpen, unfortunately, for him. But Taijuan Walker will get the start for the Phillies tomorrow. His first start since suffering that injury in spring training, having some tightness, and then that leading to some more problems for him. But looking at his numbers through his rehab assignments, he went 15 innings in single A and triple A overall, 15 innings, giving up an ERA of 4.20 down in the minors over 3 starts. So now he's back at the big league level to get his first start of the year. If you go back to last season, he was one of the league leaders in wins. He was 15-6 with a 4.38 ERA. Did not, though, despite that, did not get a start in the postseason last year. Instead, in the opportunity that they had to start Taijuan Walker, instead they went with Christopher Sanchez. I think Taijuan Walker's a good pitcher, but Spencer Turnbull has been straight fire this season. And I still can't get over the idea of skipping him in the rotation, putting him in the bullpen, or what have you, when he has been this good. I understand that money is what makes the world go round, and you're talking about a guy at a 4-year, $72 million deal versus a guy on a 1-year, $2 million deal. So I get it. But if what you're really trying to do is win ball games, it's hard to sell anybody on the idea of taking Spencer Turnbull out. But Taijuan Walker will get the start for the Phils. Yes, his first start of the season. Michael King will get the start, right-handed pitcher for the San Diego Padres. He'll get the start tomorrow afternoon at 4:10. He's out of Rochester, New York, 28 years old, 2-2 on the season with a 4.11 ERA. He is coming off just a dreadful start against the Colorado Rockies of all teams, where they lost 7-4. He went 3 2/3 of an inning, allowing 4 earned runs, 6 runs in total, did surrender a home run and issue 3 walks and 8 hits in just 3 2/3 innings of work. Prior to that, 7 2/3 against the Milwaukee Brewers in a game where he got 0 run support. They lost that game 1-0. So which Michael King's going to show up tomorrow? But yeah, Taijuan Walker against Michael King. We'll see what the Phillies put out there against the righty. But I have a hard time imagining this Phillies lineup isn't going to just keep on mashing. Just keep on mashing. Five runs a game. Keep it coming, babe. Keep it coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been Locked On Sports Philadelphia's presentation of a Locked On Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. All new Locked On Sports Philadelphia for postcasts. So make sure you guys check that out. And also download the great stuff with our friend Connor Thomas as well for Phillies Daily Postcast or podcast. Reading comments at the same time. For the daily podcasts on Locked On Phillies. I keep wanting to say postcast. Podcast. So make sure you guys do that as well. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get out of here while I'm ahead, sort of. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic as per usual. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow after the 1 o'clock tip-off between the Sixers and the Knicks in Game 4 for a 76ers Locked On postcast. And then we'll be back with you guys for the Phillies postcast as well. We'll check every box tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. See ya.